everybody, my name is Brian, and that is Shane. And what you're watching right now, no, you aren't seeing a ghost from Christmas past. You haven't stumbled into an alternate timeline where we kept creating these side-by-side talking head videos. No, my friend, we are actually back. We're back. Now, granted, we are on a different channel.
Yeah, we're back. It's weird. It's been it's taken some time to get us into this thing. Of course, we've been focusing on the Popcast channel, which is probably why most of you guys are here to come and see our video talking about how the Romulans created the Borg. Yeah, it's just good. Feels good to be back and doing actually shows in front of the camera. So it's been a while.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, this is our Popcast channel. Sweet, right? Obviously, we haven't done a regular talking head video in a long time, and we're not gonna put any of these on our regular channel anymore because of the way YouTube works. Speaking of that, can I rant really quick? When you search the Popcast, here we go, searching the Popcast, not only do we have way more subscribers, way more videos, way more views, way more everything, somehow this random channel that popped up a couple years ago is ahead of us?
Yeah.
And I'm certain, and the crazy thing, I'm searching, Shane, from one of our accounts. You'd think that we would show up first.
You know what's funny? Those guys actually, they've had their channel for a while. When we first started doing this, they were there, but you know, they have some sort of celebrity status. One of them's a semi-celebrity.
No, this is not the Knox and Jamie people. This is
it's not those?
Yeah, they're like way down. They're like, this is where they're at. See this?
They're lower than us.
Yeah, well, because they have like 500 subscribers. Yes, they've been around a lot longer, but they're primarily a podcast and not a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, you're right.
But for whatever reason, this hip-hop version of the Popcast showed up after us, has less stats across the board, somehow comes up first. I
don't know. It's hard to explain, but you know what? We're here for you. We're here to talk about Romulans creating the Borg, which, by the way, is not a very popular idea. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, people do not like the idea of the Romulans creating the Borg. That's for sure. And here's the crazy thing, is I keep seeing comments like, freaking CBS Alex Kurtzman, of course they would plan this. You're like, we don't work for CBS. This is just a wild theory.
Yeah.
In no way is this reality. We're obviously theorizing that it's possible, sure, but it's not canon, guys. So chill out. Not yet. One of the comments was, "This should not be canon. I prefer these books." And I'm like, the books aren't canon either, guys. None of this is canon. Like, if it's not in the TV show, or I guess the video game now, it's definitely not canon. So calm down.
I mean, there are some books I think that they accept, but it's really complicated. But I got to tell you, a lot of the comments in the video, I love. And by the way, absolutely love engaging with everybody on the comments. I like people who come up with different theories, and then we can go in there and just kind of be like, oh yeah, and kind of mix it up a little bit. But there are some people commenting that keeps saying that the admonition negates the theory, right? The fact that it wasn't actually a warning intended for the Romulans.
Wrong!
People have gotten way confused. They need to go back and rewatch that episode of Picard, because you guys missed it. It's still a warning. There's still some crazy AI going to come and destroy biological civilizations.
Yeah.
So
remember, this is... What you saw in the last episode was the android's interpretation of whatever it's called. I can't even say the word.
Admonition. Yeah.
Admonition?
It was meant for androids. It was left by the civilization that came and destroyed everything for them to say, hey, guys, we're here, so we're going to come and save you and protect you. But it doesn't mean that somebody's still not going to get their butt kicked. So the way the Romulans took it on is real. Like, they should be worried, because... obviously this thing is real, and somebody's going to get their butt kicked. We obviously think it was the Iconians,
of course, because
the time frame linked up, and we could talk more about that in a second.
Yeah, no, I'm really, when you first gave me the script and you were like, hey, I'm not going to tell you about this very specific thing that happens in the script. I want you to be surprised so that when you see it, you're like, oh.
Right.
I was not expecting you to go the Iconian route. Now I'll tell everybody why, and this is a little inside baseball here. By the way, I don't even know what inside baseball means, but people keep saying inside baseball. So I'm assuming they're talking about like, you know, inside knowledge. So inside baseball here. For 2 years now, since we started our channel, I've been wanting to do a study, an essay, whatever, a video about the Iconians.
Right.
Right, Shane?
You have asked me, and I keep rolling my eyes and going, it's too complicated. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, for 2 years, I've been begging. I'm sorry. Please subscribe right now.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Oh, yeah. We don't have a lot of subscribers to this channel, so hook it up, guys.
Yeah, subscribe. I've been begging Shane to do Iconian stuff. Oh, and check out this sweet new shirt. Look at that, right? I'm wearing one. I'm wearing it. How beautiful that is.
Oh, yeah. Best way to support the channel, guys, is to go get one of those shirts at Mixed Tees.
Yeah.
We'll put the link down below.
YouTube does not pay very much. So I've been begging Shane for 2 years. Iconians, bro. He's like, this whole thing with Iconians. Before the video game, before the Star Trek Online thing, whatever it's called, was talking about Iconians, I was begging Shane to talk about Iconians. Because I read books, like just back in the day, I remember when I was a teenager, reading books about the Iconians and the Iconian gateways and the gateway of tomorrow and the, you know, how the episodes all line up, TNG and TOS, and the Iconians' whole civilization, the ancient civilization, destroyed by some kind of plague. I'm assuming. I think they called it like the coronavirus. I forgot though. Sorry, it's like, too soon. Too soon.
Quarantine and chill, bro. Quarantine and chill.
Whatever it was fascinating. And Shane just kept saying, no, there's not enough there. Like, there's some episodes that talk about it, but even the TOS thing doesn't even mention it specifically. And there isn't enough. There isn't enough to do it. But then Shane, in researching this connection, found a star chart, probably created by a fan.
It was actually created by fans that took basically all the information, super impressive work, by the way, and then created basically a layover of the Milky Way, our galaxy, where everything should be in Star Trek. And it's changed the way I think about Star Trek completely.
Right.
Like, and where, you know, when I'm watching shows and where people are at, it's pretty fascinating.
Well, so he took this and he shows me, look where Iconia is. Right next to Romulan space. Like, it's like basically in the neutral zone.
It's in the neutral zone, yeah.
And boy, that's huge. And I can totally see writers at CBS playing the video game, you know, not knowing much about Star Trek. Like, they're probably learning, like, in the last, like, they weren't hired as fans of Star Trek, so like they're learning about Star Trek as they're writing, reading comic books, and they're like, what's up with this planet Iconia that goes back to TOS?
Right.
That has like all this crazy technology that people reference a few times in TV shows, but like no one ever talks about after that. You would think the Federation would just be all over that planet. They would rip that planet apart to learn the secrets of the Iconians, which apparently is the most powerful race in existence.
Close. There was one more powerful.
Well, technologically speaking, aside from the Q, whatever, you'd think they would just tear that apart. Okay, there's a TOS episode where they go back in time with very little effort through a gateway with no hazmat suits or ship or anything. Like, that's some serious tech, bro. But they don't. But I can totally see writers over there being like, we need to address this whole Iconian thing that fans have been tripping out about for 30 years, and no one's ever given them information. We can totally fill in the pieces so that we won't be accused of breaking canon.
Right.
We give a link to the old times, talk about something they want to talk about, original Star Trek, tell them what they want, something they want to talk about, fill in spaces. Like, they can mine the past for information without actually stepping on canon by using Iconians.
Well, and it is canon because we know, and I think they're doing it. So one of the key elements to this whole thing was the 200,000 years. So the 200,000 years, if you go back into Star Trek, you know, history's past. And there's a great video out there that somebody made that talks about all the civilizations from the past. And right around 600,000 years ago, there was a really important one. That's the one you're talking about that was super advanced, and we see a lot. It gets in with a lot of the Star Trek episodes. But 200,000 years ago, there's really only one civilization that's talked about, and it's the Iconians. So the fact that they're taking this planet back they're saying it's 200,000 years, this admonition. They're putting it near the Romulan zone, near Romulan space.
Right.
It just almost says it pretty much has to be Iconia. Like if it's not Iconia, it would be weird because they'd be creating a new civilization.
Yeah, that was like ultra powerful for no seemingly no reason. Yeah. You have this civilization that has been solidified since like the 50s, like, and very few people know anything about it. There's very little canon about it. I mean, you might as well just use that. Like that.
Right.
I mean, now granted,
and we don't know how they disappeared.
To all the comments in the comment section saying that the writers aren't that smart. I mean, sometimes I agree with you. Okay, so let's be real. Let's be real.
Frequently, I agree with you.
Frequently, I've been agreeing with you, but this does not require a genius level intellect.
Not really.
No,
well,
it's just like let me Google Star Trek. No, I mean, I'm not. You put the pieces together, and you're not the writer, so that's different. But as the writer with connection and everything, who's literally shaping the story, Googling ancient Star Trek, races. Iconia comes up pretty quick. It's a pretty popular ancient race that died out, right? I mean, it honestly makes no sense to create a completely different species that we have not heard about yet. It doesn't. And it doesn't, to make that species and then create this 8-star system planet thing, whatever it's called, octosystem.
The Enclave of 8, yeah.
Right. That doesn't make any sense either. You might as well just mine Iconia, and that way, when the question comes up about plot holes, you'd be like, what plot holes, bro? Iconia.
That's
Ain't
true.
No plot holes.
Well, let's go back to what people wanted to come here to see, was how this actually came about. So if you go back to the beginning, when Picard first started, when the new series first started, with Romulans heavily involved and the Borg, the idea came to Brian actually pretty quickly, and several other people, because there's been some comments, but somebody else already put this out. Well, we actually grabbed onto this theory pretty much as soon as it came out. I think episode 2 of the show.
Yeah. Great minds, bro. Multiple people can have the same idea. Please, thank you.
Yeah. Well, no, it's true. And so, we said, okay, well, how are they connected? And I'll tell you what's interesting is what really set us on this path was a comment made by Laris on episode 2 of Picard. I think it was episode 2 or 3. And she said basically that the Romulans have been keeping the secret, the Zod Vosh have been keeping the secret for thousands upon thousands of years.
Yeah. And like, wait a minute. Are the Romulans thousands of years old?
Well, we did. We assumed at first they were.
Right.
So, and we were like, okay, cool, we got this, thousands and thousands. And then we remember that Guinan had said that the Borg were hundreds of thousands. And we're like, okay, these things are connecting, right? And so when we went and looked at how old the Romulans were and realized, oh my gosh, they're only 2,000 years old. Mm-hmm. So by the way, CBS did not do their research on how old the Romulans were before they wrote that script.
Yeah, they just assumed.
The Zod Vosh can't be, if it's a Romulan organization, it can't be more than 2,000 years old, because that's how old the Romulans are.
Well, it's actually crazy. Like any other race, you could have said that without question, but the Romulans very specifically broke off from the Vulcans at a very specific point in history, so.
Right, and so that kind of it made everything kind of weird. And then all of a sudden, and I got to tell you guys, writing these, so how it typically works is Brian and I will brainstorm something, or Brian will come up with some crazy idea, because that's what he does, and they're great, wonderful, crazy ideas. And then he kind of sends it over to me and says, okay, see if it works. So, and then I have to kind of go and research it and figure out, what can it work, or what is it, will it not work? So there's a lot of things we do that never actually work.
Yeah. So when I send that to Shane goes, damn it.
That's exactly what I look like, yes.
Okay,
like, no, not another
here we go.
One.
Click. Nope, that's not possible, Brian. Go back to the drawing board, you pleb.
Yeah, well, so
you filthy Star Trek casual.
So after, days and weeks of looking through something, so the Romulan thing, I kind of thought it was dead. I thought it was going to die, and it wasn't going to work because of the contradiction between how old the Romulans were and the fact that the Borg were so old. And then I found this kind of created Romulan history that came from a lot of the books and from TV and from stuff. Guys, the Romulans, they only get talked about till about 400 AD, and then you don't hear from them again until about 2100. So there's like nothing out there, from the TV series that talks about Romulans. So I found this written history that was pulled from books and novels and a bunch of stuff. And then looking back at the Voyager episode where you had the Vaudoir explaining that the Borg were basically infants in the Delta Quadrant right around 1400. And all of a sudden the little bells and everything started going back and forth. And I'm like, oh
ding,
my
ding,
God,
ding, ding, ding.
It can happen. And so the more I went into it, and then you find this leader of the Romulan, early leader of the Romulan, who starts cloning. Yeah, and they're using technology with the clones, and all of a sudden she's a queen, and you're like,
yeah, she's basically the Borg queen. Like, come on.
It just is really odd. And then, of course, the 200,000 years with Iconia being right next to Iconia, and all the pieces started to fit into place. And while it is sort of a stretch, and there isn't, I think, any concrete evidence at this point, there sure is a lot of potential there that if they wanted to go that route, they could. So I thought it was very interesting. How was it with you with the editing, and how did you do all that?
Oh.
Is that good or bad?
That's my reaction. Ugh. It actually was a lot of work.
Well, it always looks really good.
I mean, thank you, Shane.
It's very professional. You do a great job.
For you, it sounds good. Like, you're amazing.
You help with that.
So, I do. I'm definitely gonna take credit for that. So here's the deal. The last video we uploaded was Trek versus Trek, right? Old Trek versus new Trek, and we put a lot of effort into it. I don't know if you recall, Shane, how much effort we put.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in another video too.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely talk about it in another video. We put a lot of effort into it, and while we were doing it, something happened, Shane. Something happened.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, some dude decided to claim around 17 seconds of the video. Now, we dealt with claims multiple times, so no big deal. But this wasn't just a claim, bro. This was a strike, a copyright strike for some footage. I guess it was an intro of Voyager that he recreated, and I definitely mistakenly used. I just assumed it was a CBS thing. I did not assume that anybody owned it. And frankly speaking, the dude doesn't own it, okay?
We'll go through that in that video when we do. So I know it bugs you a lot.
I'll talk about that. But because of that, this video was actually extra hard because I did not want the same thing to happen. So every clip, every source, every piece of audio or video had to have a source. It had to be either created, it had to have an actual source that was fair use, or it had to come from CBS or one of the streams of CBS videos or episodes or whatever. And it took a very long time because I couldn't just search for a very particular clip. I had to find ones that I knew somebody out there wouldn't complain about and try to strike our channel, because that is apparently something that happens a lot with. But what you're seeing here is you're seeing all the script files. So when Shane records the audio, he actually records seemingly a million small files, and I have to piece all those files together and then create an audio version of that, where I take the audio and I clean it up and I fix it, and I go through one piece at a time, and one day I'll have to live stream that whole thing so you guys can see how long it takes. It takes a very long time. And then after that I go through and I start adding clips, and I start editing and transitioning and adding effects and upscaling this and upscaling that and dropping that in, dropping that out, and creating the actual video itself. And it's a long process, but it's very rewarding because at the very end I get to watch something that I actually thoroughly enjoy, even though I've technically watched it about 4,000 times by that moment. When it's finally all the way done and I get to upload it to YouTube, I boot YouTube up, I turn the lights down low, I light a couple candles, take my shirt off, I get
naked,
get my massage oil,
right.
I lather myself up real good, and then I press play. And I just sit there and enjoy 15 minutes of awesome.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Every single time.
Killing
So, yeah, worth it. Now, the only thing that can make that a bad experience is when some douchebag decides to strike said footage that actually doesn't belong to him, but we'll talk about it in another video.
So let me ask you a question. What was your favorite? There's some really great pieces where some great video footage. What are some of your favorite clips that you put in this one?
My favorite one is right about, I'll tell you right now, right here. Ready? It's coming up. Right there.
Well, you put that one in a lot of them, so...
Yeah, it's my favorite clip, and it says subscribe, because that's what I want you to do. Subscribe. Okay. Subscribe right now. We have how many subscriptions on this channel? Like
188?
Yeah, not enough, guys. Okay. Speaking of that, we've been delaying doing the Unleashed videos. It takes a little bit of effort. We would rather put that effort into the produced videos and our work and our families. So we haven't been. So if you really want to motivate, if you actually enjoy this content that you're seeing right now, and you want to motivate us to create more content just like this and do more of these videos, subscribe, like, and share. Because it doesn't seem like really worth it very much sometimes. Even though we enjoy talking to each other, it doesn't always seem worth it because there's not very much going on in this channel. So motivate us, hit that subscribe button, please.
Yes, definitely, guys. But I want to tell you my favorite clip. So you got access to it right there?
Yeah.
For my favorite clip?
Sure, where do you want to go?
It's the very end. It's almost at the very end of the channel is my favorite clip.
That one right there?
No. Go back to where you were still editing.
Oh, I'm still editing over here?
Okay. Right towards the end of the clip.
Okay, I'm at the very end. Just tell me what it is.
That's not the very end.
This is the... Okay, you might go on the very, very end? Like right here?
Yes. Where the end.
Oh, yeah, this is actually pretty funny. Let me turn audio on. Ready? Don't talk.
We are the Borg. Existence as you know it is over. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Resistance.
Deactivation complete.
Yep, that was
You got me.
That's a pretty good part.
You got me. I did not I didn't see it coming. I didn't expect. I know you told me you had a special ending for it. Because I try to leave this opening at the end. If you guys know, there'll always be this opening where Brian can go pick this, like, just something fun or interesting. Mm-hmm. So nice move on the Orville.
Well, you know what's really funny is about 3% of the people that actually see that video will ever see that special Orville reference.
Because they don't make it to the end?
Because so few people make it that far in the video. Like, we have the actual metrics. Like, we can get 500,000 views on a video, and out of 500,000 views, 413 people will see that clip.
It's more than that. It's more than that. There's surprisingly more people, because you got to figure there's actually quite a bit more that about 20% of the people end up seeing the whole video.
We should start putting, like, hey, check out the special reference at this point or whatever, so people actually get that far, maybe.
That's a good point, because they're missing it. It's a lot of the people who don't realize there's going to be something cool later, but it's hard to work that into the script. It takes a lot of time to write these scripts. And, I just hope that you guys really enjoy these videos. We're trying to come up with really interesting, different ideas to kind of bring you guys a little bit of, history, a little bit of theory, some funny stuff. So,
yeah,
we appreciate you. That
said, that's it. That's all we got to say about this episode that we created. So, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, all the share buttons, all that stuff. And we'll keep checking back, because in a couple more days, there'll be more videos. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. But we're gonna make a very clear effort to keep putting videos on this channel that are just like us. Just like this. We're just talking about what we do, talking about our work, talking about life, that kind of stuff. Okay?
Yeah, and if you guys missed, obviously we're going to end up going backwards a little bit, so we want to go back and cover some of the other videos that we've missed up to this point that we kind of promised we're going to be on this channel that we talked about. So if you have other questions about the video, just put it in the comments below, and we will respond to all of your questions about, our decisions on, where it came from or what we decided to do, or if you had any other thoughts or theories. We'll definitely, talk to you guys about that in the comments below, and then come back again for the next video and we'll talk about the next one.
Yes. Okay, guys. See you guys tomorrow or the next day, one of these times.
Stay safe. Stay indoors.
In the very near future, we'll see you again. By the way, we're gonna be doing some Twitch streaming, so we'll put that in the link description. We're gonna be playing some video games on
You won't want to
Twitch,
miss that.
like teenagers.
Yeah, because I don't play them, so it's going to be really hilarious.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Hey, thanks for watching the whole video, man. That's really, really cool of you. If you look over here, there's another video, and you can watch that, and then just watch more. And if you're not subscribed, you should probably do that too. Subscribe, please, 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 please. I hate myself sometimes.